Hey guys, my name's Crystal Kenny, and I'm in love with creating. All things artistic and imagination involved. I'm an American girl who chased her creative dreams all the way to Paris, France, making a living using photography. This podcast takes you inside the stories of all the artsy folks I've met along the way and gives you that extra push to discover your creative gifts. The desire to create is deeply inside each and every one of us, and I give you the tools and inspiration to find a new way of living a more creative life. This is La Vie Creative, the podcast.
My guest today is an artist named Anna Gillis. She's originally from California, but now calls France home, where she creates all different types of art, including paintings. We talk about what inspires her daily work and how France has changed her life.
So welcome to the show, Anna. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I think I've interviewed a lot of your friends from your female collective Partout Paris, but we can talk about that later. But it's been so fun getting to know all of you. You're such an eclectic group.
Yeah, we really met like randomly, kind of randomly. We met on Facebook. I'm sure some other people have told you too, but we met on Facebook, and we just sort of like came together. And we've only ever met online so far. We haven't had a chance to like all be together in person yet.
Oh, you haven't even been together yet? I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're supposed to meet this week, like if the lockdown ends.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope it ends so we can finally come together.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we can talk about that later, but I want to get back to you. I mean, you're originally from California, then you lived in New York for a while, and then you just moved to Paris in March 2019. And we know what that date means, beginning of world shutdown. So
yeah,
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, dun, dun, dun. And so what brought you to France originally?
So I met my boyfriend in New York, and he's Italian. So he was actually like on the end of his time in the US. And I was working at an art gallery, like managing the New York branch of this gallery. And I felt like I wasn't like living like creatively. I was like, cause I'm an artist, but like I wasn't practicing my work. So it sort of just like all came together that like he was leaving. And he was like, do you want to come with me? And I was like, yeah. And like, I want to like change what I've been doing. And so we were like, where should we go? And we were like, let's go to like Paris because he lived here before. And for me, it just like attracted me because of like the artistic like history. And I'd actually never been before. But I just thought like, if there's a place that like I can like kind of like go and like start to like really live my life as an artist full time, and like this seems like it could be a good place. And so that was sort of what we were thinking. And we came, and then like pandemic.
Wait, so you had never even been to Paris?
No.
You meet this man in New York, this amazing Italian man. Yeah. I'm a fan of Italians too, you know that. And then you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna move to Paris, no big deal.
Basically, like there was a lot of paperwork, but like that was definitely more the vibe. We were like, after I made the decision to quit my job and transition here, and then it was just a matter of figuring out how to do it. So I got a student visa to study French. So I was going to be taking French lessons for the whole year, but then we got here and we got locked down, and like we had to stay in a hotel, and so we stayed in this like hotel within the like 1 kilometer radius, and I'd never seen the city. I'd never been here before, and it was like the craziest experience because I was like, I could be anywhere because I don't really know where I am.
So you arrived like in the middle of the pandemic, at the beginning of it.
Yeah. I got on the last flight out of San Francisco. I had to like get a special note from the embassy, the French embassy in San Francisco, to like let me on the plane because I had a US passport.
Wow. So
everyone else the last flight out.
That's so crazy because I remember when that was happening, all my photo clients from America were like running from France. They were like, get me out of here. The borders are going to shut. And you ran into France for love.
Yeah. it's thinking back on it now, I just like laugh about it because it was so dramatic. Like my family was like, you can't go, but like my boyfriend was here and he was like, you have to come now, like they're gonna close.
Oh my goodness, what an adventure. So I hope that you've kind of gotten out and seen the city by now.
Yeah, I have. I've ventured out of the 1 kilometer radius.
That is fascinating. Wow. I mean, it seems to be working out for you. I've been watching your work online. You're an illustrator, you're graphic design, you paint, and it's beautiful what you're doing. And I thought it was funny how you said you were literally working in an art gallery, but you weren't feeling very artistic. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I worked at that gallery for 3 years. I went straight to that gallery out of college, and I studied studio art and graphic design. So when I left school, I was like, I'm going to be an artist. But I mean, nobody tells you really like how to do that, you know.
Mhm.
So for me, I thought like I'll work at an art gallery, and this will like help me to become an artist. And I loved working for the gallery; it was awesome. But like I just wasn't creating. It was just sort of like adjacent to being an artist, and especially just working with the artists that we represented, like seeing the difference between like how I was living my life and how they were living their lives. Like it just really like after a certain point, I was like, this is helping me learn about like the business of art, but it's not. I haven't painted in like years, you know. I mean, I like would
Mhm.
paint on the weekends, but I hadn't like significantly invested time in my work that like was necessary to be an artist, you know, like a
Mhm.
professional artist. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
I
just
think
yeah.
a lot of times I read that when there's a profession we want to do, we kind of befriend or cozy up to the people doing that job, before we actually jump out and do it. But it sounds like it was a good kind of business experience for you with the artistic field. What did you learn as far as business goes in the arts? Because I think that's what a lot of us are lacking is knowing the business side of being an artist.
I mean, it was definitely really interesting being on like the other side of like that desk in a gallery. Like I'm on and like inside being like an artist because like our space was in New York on the ground floor. Like it was right across from Trump Tower. So there's a lot of like traffic. It's like very touristy area. And so people would come in all the time, just random artists and like ask me like to be in the gallery and it was just interesting to be on the other side of that and like kind of see how what was a good way to present myself and what maybe wasn't and
Mhm.
also just to be like to yeah just to see how the owners of the gallery would feel about somebody who just came in and kind of like demanded that like that we look at their work without doing it in like a professional way. So that was
Mhm.
interesting because I would have been that person coming in and just being like, hey, like I have a painting, can you look at it? Like
Yeah.
out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And so they don't like that. They want you to set up an appointment. They want you to chat via email before or phone before.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you were gonna come in person just to ask, like, are you accepting new artists? And like, is there someone I could send my work online to? And then just to leave it at that because like it, because yeah, like sometimes people would come in with literally have like paintings, and I'd be like, I can't look at this.
I mean, I would think the same thing. It's like, it's a gallery. Here's a painting. Put it on the wall.
Yeah, yeah,
Why not?
yeah.
I was always curious how galleries work because, there's so many galleries in Paris. And whenever I walk by these places, especially in the Marais, they're always empty. And I'm like, how do they sell things? How do they make money? Like, can
Hmm.
you explain that to me?
Yeah. Well, for the gallery that I worked for, we had like our client list, and like you rate the clients kind of like based on um just based on like how maybe like how much of a buyer they are. So like there were definitely VIPs, and those would be like the big buyers.
Uh-huh.
But there would also just be people who were crazy rich and like would walk through the gallery, and maybe they're like a collector of like a major artist, and they would see the piece and just like they'd see it and be like, that's the one. And they would either like they would probably, most of the time they would get the information and then they would like come back and be like, we want to buy this. So it was a mix of those things, but I think the majority definitely of the sales were like from like repeated buyers that they would like.
Mm.
The gallery
So
really cultivated those relationships.
yeah, so I'm sure when the gallery owners were choosing art, they kind of thought of those people a little bit too, like, hey, would Tom Cruise like this painting or what?
Yeah, literally the VIPs.
The VIPs. Yeah, I always find that fascinating. It's just such a strange world. I have some other friends that worked in galleries, and I think, yeah, it's kind of like that. There's nothing going on, and then when something's going on, it's really going on.
Yeah, totally. There were
And
definitely like quiet days because I would also be like working at the desk there.
yeah, yeah.
No one would come and,
Watching some YouTube videos.
yeah, I watch music videos, that's for sure.
I watch all the protests outside of Trump Tower.
Yeah. Actually, like for real, there were a crazy amount of protests.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you were across from Trump Tower, you probably saw a lot of action.
Yeah, they would like close. We even know when like there was something going on because they would like close the street, and we'd be like, "Oh, it's a day, like something's happening."
Know what's coming. So let's talk a little bit about your painting and drawing. You were at the art gallery, you weren't making art. Then you decided, okay, I'm just going to move to Paris with my Italian boyfriend and then start making art during the pandemic. How did that go? Did you start making art?
Yeah, I did. So, I mean, it was really interesting because like that happened and like I was just, like locked in a room basically. And I like bought a bunch of stuff online to like set up like bought an easel and like a bunch of like painting canvases and like that was all I did. So like I just worked on paintings for like the whole day. Like and like that was really cool honestly because I never done that before. So I mean I like had like when I was in school I would like obviously I would like spend a lot of time working, but it was just in a different way to like do it 100% of the time with just myself. So I felt like I really like pushed through a lot of ideas in a way that like I had never done before. So just artistically, I think it was like I like learned a lot about my like how long it takes me to do a piece and also like what happens when I try to push an idea farther than just like that, maybe that first painting that like came into my head instead of doing like one, doing like 10.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so the pandemic is kind of like be careful what you wish for because you wanted to be able to just make art and literally you were locked in a room making art.
Yeah, exactly, honestly.
And it made you probably super focused.
Yeah, definitely. And like I didn't know anyone here, and I didn't speak the language, so it was like really no distractions. They're
Did
very
you
like in my head.
Yeah, exactly. And did you find it therapeutic? Because a lot of people were freaking out and didn't feel like they could make art. They were feeling kind of depressed and scared. Like, did you find it as an outlet during that time?
Yeah, definitely. I found myself also like weirdly listening to a lot of like news podcasts while I worked. So I was just like devouring like a lot of like news. And I don't think that, I mean, it was therapeutic, but it was also a little bit like not healthy for my mental state probably because I would just be like in my head all day listening to like crazy like news podcasts and just being like the world is ending. But like
So do you think that was reflective in your artwork?
weirdly like no, like I think the work I made is pretty upbeat. Like I tend to gravitate towards bright colors. Maybe some of the portraits that I did are like a little moodier, but I definitely was painting like flowers and like pretty landscapes and stuff. I didn't really translate any of the like outside events into my work.
Yeah, I would really like the portraits when I was looking at your website. They're very colorful. They're kind of abstract, like cubism thing going on. I really like your portraits. Is that one of your favorite things to paint?
Thank you. Yeah, it is. The first painting I ever did that I was like, I have like some talent and this is like something I like want to pursue for my life is it was a portrait of my friend. It's on my website. It's called Mysterious Nick. It's like it's a different style than ones I've been doing, but like it's also very colorful. It's not really like cubist. It's more like smooth. Like I more blended the colors and it's like smoothed out, and it doesn't have like the black lines around all the shapes.
Mhm.
But that was like the first kind of like portrait, but like not really realistic exactly, like the oversaturated and kind of like overly dramatic, I guess, was like the first artistic imagery that like really pulled me in. So I think that's something I'll probably like always want to come back to.
Yeah, it really shows in your work that it feels like portraits are something special for you. And has Paris inspired your work? Like, are you painting scenes from France, or how has Paris influenced you as an artist?
Yeah, I think like the imagery of the buildings and like the ornate, um, kind of like the ornate designs and stuff has been something that I've been meaning to paint. I haven't done it yet, but that's definitely like visually something that I want to like reflect.
Can you walk us through how you create your painting? So, does an idea just pop in your head? Do you see a person? Do you listen to something? Like, how do you even get started? How do you decide what you're going to paint?
hmm it depends. So like either for some of my work that is, I guess like I would consider it more abstract. Most of those ideas pop into my head. So some of like everything I like I draw like some patterns and stuff. Those are all just like from my head, and those will come to me based on some like random thing, probably that I've seen, and then it like turns into this other idea. But I'm definitely like I definitely have something where like I'll get it image stuck in my head, and once I get it, and like I have to get it out. So like it might mean that I stop what I'm working on to like start this other thing, and then like once I feel like I've got it out, then I can like then I'll generally move on to like a different subject. But I've been trying to get that out and then do something else similar to it to kind of like hone the ideas more. But then for my work that's more representational, those are all based on pictures for the most part. So like all the portraits are based on pictures. Normally they're just like iPhone pictures that I've taken. I don't think I've ever done one based on someone else's photo. But yeah, most of them are just like iPhone shots that like I like when I first started working, I also was really into like iPhone photography. So I did like a whole like portfolio of iPhone pictures with like weird like edits.
Hmm.
Before the iPhone was before the iPhone had like a nice camera. So they were kind of like grainy,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we remember those grainy, blurry photos, and we put those weird effects on them all the
yeah.
time.
I literally used like Instagram like when it first came out. I was like, this is an app for like filtering pictures, and I just like used
Yeah.
the Instagram filters. Like these are
Yeah,
amazing.
everyone did. It's so funny to think about because now no one really uses filters. Well, they like change their whole freaking faces now, but they don't use like the colorful face, the colorful things. And that was such a popular thing on Instagram that just kind of got phased out with better technology.
Yeah, totally. I really did not think of it as like a place to like a social thing. For me, when I first
Yeah.
got on it, I was like, I'm like, it's for photography. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I have some friends who started in 2012 on there, and now they're like traveling the world, and all these big brands pay them thousands of dollars to take pictures. And I'm like, why didn't I take Instagram more seriously in the
yeah,
beginning?
yeah,
Nobody could have known how it was going to evolve.
seriously, it really blew up.
Yeah, the whole marketing. I mean, they're like the influencers. So funny.
hmm
And talk about your favorite thing about being an artist in Paris. Is there something you really like about being an artist here?
Yeah, so I think because of the pandemic, I haven't really been able to like go out and like find like physically experience like being an artist here. So like because I definitely have been staying in this like whole year. So I haven't really like been able to go into galleries and stuff or like meet people physically. But like I really love that like art is so like this city is so like ingrained with art and that like the history of it. I feel like there's like a lot of like respect for art, and like everywhere I look here, there's art, and especially the architecture too. So that's just like kind of constantly inspiring. And I also like that there is a mix of like pretty and there's also still some like gritty stuff here. Cause like
Mhm.
New York really inspired me because I like the grittiness of like New York. It's not as like
Yeah. Yeah,
not
I
as
think that's something a lot
classically
of
pretty
people, yeah,
as
people
here.
miss that in Paris. There's some real like the underbelly of Paris that I think most people never discover because that's not like the tourist destinations. So there's some different eclectic areas around here. And I think you find those more when you live here.
Yeah, I'm definitely like looking for those. I was like totally like lived in Brooklyn and like loved Brooklyn and New York. So I'm like, where's the Brooklyn of Paris?
We can go to Belleville.
I will. Like, this is a serious question.
All right, we need to take you some places, you poor girl.
Yeah, please.
We'll make it happen. And what do you wish to do with your artwork? What do you want to do you want to influence people? Do you just want it to be an outlet for yourself? What do you want to do with your art?
I would definitely love it, my art to influence people. I love to like see it up. I try to hang my art like anywhere I can. So for me, that's just like mostly my apartment. But like I when I have people who buy my work, that it just like is awesome for me because I really like the idea of them like falling in love with it in a way, like looking at it or getting inspired by it. And also just when people when because I like to like nerd out about like what I was thinking or like where this idea came from because most of the time with my work there's always something more, you know, even if it's not like a technically like a subject that you might think there's like some deeper meaning behind it.
Mhm.
There's always a story and there's always like some kind of like evolution of my thought. So I always really like when I can like express that to someone and when they find that meaning like enriches the work. Um, but I would
Yeah.
love to have like my work just be like more widely seen, you know.
Yeah. I think I read one time a quote that said any artist that says they don't want to be famous is lying. What do you think about that?
I was just thinking like in my head, and I want to be famous. Yeah, I mean, I've I can't speak for everyone. I've definitely met people who are artists who are like it seems like they're doing it just like for not in a bad way, but they're doing it just like for themselves, and that they might not care. But like I've also met a lot of artists who definitely want to be famous, you know. And I would love to be
Mhm.
famous. Like I would love for like my work to be seen like across all like by a lot of people. But also for I mean for me, this definitely more like I don't really care about like myself being personally, I guess, like being famous. It's more about like my work being famous.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, to make a living doing what you love, to influence people, to chat about it. I mean, why wouldn't we like that?
Yeah, totally.
And talk about your female collective. So you guys met on a Facebook group, right?
hmm So
It's
yeah, so I mean, personally, I was just joining Facebook groups, like Paris artist Facebook groups, like looking for something like what we ended up creating. And I guess we were all in a Anglophone artist Facebook group, and some Laura. I think you spoke with Laura, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so I think she posted like on that Facebook group saying like we're trying to start a collective. If people want to join it, let's all meet. And then from that group, which was I think maybe like 60 people, 10 of us came ended up like coming together. And then we ended up losing two people because they left the city, but we ended up with eight of us. And it's been a while now. It's been like a couple, like kind of. I think it's been since September, maybe
Mhm.
that we first met. So we've been able to do like, even though we haven't been able to physically meet or like show our work, we've done a lot of just like a lot of work like strengthening the group. So I feel like really good about it, and it's a really awesome resource just to meet like other creatives, and it just ended up being all women. It wasn't our intention when we started it, but I also really like love that aspect of it.
I love that too. And I think you're such an interesting group because I've interviewed a lot of you already and you're all doing very different things. You all have very different personalities. I mean, you all do speak English. You all are artists in France. You're all female, but it's just such an interesting group. And can you talk about some of the challenges of that? I mean, artists are known for being kind of eccentric and, other than clashing personalities, or you all get along and you can come to, is it like a democratic state? How do things work? Do you vote on things?
Yeah, so it's definitely democratic. We chose Laura as sort of like our de facto leader to lead the conversations. So that's been really like helpful. Definitely like all of us have big personalities because I think that just like comes with being an artist. But it's been really cool. Like it's been really awesome just like unraveling each of our personalities. And I feel like even though we haven't spent a lot of time together, that we like know each other pretty well because there's sort of like a vulnerability when you are talking about your art and like what you want to do with it. And so we've all seen that for like in each other and like understand that point, we like understand that part about each other. And so I think that just like leads to really positive relationships. So it's been like a really good experience.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. And what has the group taught you? Like, what are some of the positive things you've taken away from it?
It's been really awesome for me to see how other just to see like what other women artists like lives are like who are like living and breathing the art, like kind of the artist lifestyle, and just the way that they have been able to like work being an artist into their lives. Because I don't actually know that many women artists. Like it's kind of, even though I've been in like an artistic realm for a while, I didn't have like close relationships or like mentors in any way. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the art world has been dominated by men for a long time and women are starting to find their voice. And I think that's one of my favorite things about living in Paris is all the female artists I meet here. And then you start a podcast about creatives and you meet a lot of them. But
yeah,
you're right. You don't really seek them out. You don't find them so easily.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's super cool that it just happened also. Like for some reason, maybe like I don't know. I mean, I don't know why it was only women that like responded to that post or like that we were all like looking for other women or something,
Yeah, yeah. The universe brought you together. Do you believe in that stuff?
Seriously.
The universe locked you in an apartment in Paris during a pandemic and that made you join a collective of artists.
Thank you, universe.
Thanks, universe. And do you have any advice for people who don't believe they're creative or are searching for their creative talents?
Definitely just, well, if for people who don't believe that they're creative, I think that everyone's creative. And that if you take like that pressure off of yourself, I guess, to like be a certain whatever it is, like that your creativity can come through. If you're trying to paint like realistically, like maybe that might not be like the best, maybe you can't do that, but you might be like amazing at like abstract or like sculpture or like something else. Because I definitely think that everybody has like you know what you like, what colors you like, and like what you find like aesthetically pleasing and stuff. So I think that's just like your creativity kind of like coming out maybe more in like a preference.
Yeah, I think that you have to start playing around to figure out what you like because until you try, you can't really get those feelings.
Yeah, definitely. For me,
And how
like,
would you,
oh
no,
go
what were
on,
you
sorry.
saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say for me, it was just like starting to create things like was super helpful. I felt like I always feel less creative when I'm not doing it, and it's just in my
Yeah,
head, like.
yeah. You kind of feel guilty, like you've left it to the side and I need to get started again.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you define creativity?
For me, it's making something that I've seen or felt apparent to someone else. Like I guess making something I've seen or felt real, like for me it's painting or like illustrating or something like that. But also I think like effectively like being creative for me is being able to put that thing down on the canvas and then like step back from it and say like that's exactly what I meant. And when someone else sees it, for them to like understand that too. I feel like music for me is also like a great example of that. Like an artist like has a feeling or something that they try to convey and they just like completely nail it and you totally like know what they meant.
Mm-hmm. So it's a way of making empathy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can share our feelings.
Yeah, definitely.
Some people are really bad at that. They should become artists.
Yeah.
And are there any future projects you're excited about that are coming out?
Yeah. I just started a new series of paintings that are fully abstract, which I've never really done that before. My work has generally been like more representational in terms of painting. So I'm really excited about that. And it's just like it's a great outlet for me with like color because it's super flexible with the abstract shapes to like do different colors. And then with part 2, we've been trying to plan some exhibitions. So I've yet to show my work like in Paris. So I'm excited for that to hopefully come to fruition if like things open up again.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers for that one. I think we're all ready. And where can people find you online?
My Instagram is Anna Gillis Art. So ANNAGILLIS and then just art. That's a good way to find my portfolio and to contact me. And then you can also email me at annagillis11, just 11 at gmail.com. And then my website is also just Anna Gillis Art.
Are there 11 Anna Gillises out there stealing your Gmail account?
Oh, did I say Anna Gillis 11? I meant my email is Anna Gillis Art. My other email is Anna Gillis 11.
I was like, wow, that's random.
Yeah, random 11. That's my lucky number. It was my stalker number when I was like young, so that's just been my classic number.
Oh, I like it. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. And I can't wait to see what you group of ladies do next, what you do next. And I hope it doesn't take you being locked in a room for a year again to be so creative. I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like I've built up a good habit. So when I'm released, hopefully it will be more.
Get out of your prison.
That's great.
Thanks a lot, Anna.
Thank you. It was great to talk.
Thanks so much for tuning in to La Vie Creative. You can find more information on MissParisPhoto.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please feel free to share and spread the word for all my creative guests. We have the power to help them to keep doing what they love. See you next time.